Hi, how are you? It's been 4 weeks since I started my marathon training plan, so I've decided to pause for a second and recap everything that happened so far and share with you how I feel, how I felt, and what it's going on, what works, what didn't. If you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is Matt, and 4 weeks ago I decided to start a training plan for a marathon. I'm not a professional runner, I'm not an athlete. I actually started to enjoy running very recently. I'm not even a runner, to be honest, but I wanted to challenge myself. And in my channel, I'm sharing every week update on how I feel, how the training is going, progress, challenges, and my experience as a non-professional. So if you're interested, if you want to follow me in my journey, you're more than welcome to join the community. Every week, usually on a Wednesday or Thursday, I post an update on how my week is going. As I mentioned, it's been 4 weeks since I started the training plan. And I think it's a moment for me, it's the right moment for me to pause for a second and make some reflection. First of all, why I decide to start a training plan for a marathon? Well, it all started this winter, towards the end of the year, November. It was a moment where there was many things going on. I used to be, it's been a few years now that I'm trying to be active, to take care of myself, of my body. I'm not getting any younger, so I want to invest as much as I can in my personal health. And I do bike training, spinning bike. I then move to also yoga, strength training. I always saw running as something that you have to do it because it's, cardio training. I did it a few times. Do I really enjoy running? Not really. So it was something that, it's not that I hated, but I neither loved it. Now, fast forward to this winter, and I was a bit stuck because I used to do my strength training almost every day. I had my results, but you know when you feel that you need to spice things up. And for some reason, I'm using a Peloton app. If you're familiar, that's in the app. I have the bike as well, but it's an ecosystem where you have different workouts from meditation to yoga to run to strength training and so on. And somehow popped up the image of a training program for an half marathon. So I was like, well, that could work for me. Not because I was interested in a half marathon, but because in that moment of life, because I was busy at work, my life was a bit of a mess. I couldn't find the right motivation to keep a consistent training regime. From training twice a day every day, I was in a place where I used to train once, twice a week. It wasn't right. And I thought, well, if I sign up to a training program, that could give me motivation because there's a structure. And I could at least run twice or 3 times a week. And that's how it all started. Well, within a couple of weeks, I start to enjoy more and more. And I end up completing the program and running the distance of a half marathon. To put into context, the longest I ran ever in my life, I think it was 45 minutes maximum. I'm not considering myself a fast runner, and I haven't considered myself an endurance runner neither. It's more like a recreational runner, like let's run for half an hour, that's more than enough. So for me, being able to run for 2 hours, it was a wow moment. The training program ended, so I was left with nothing else, and I kept running and I kept running with long distances, but then something came to my mind, and I like to challenge myself. So the question or the idea that came to me was, well, if you manage to run for a half marathon length, and up to 2 or 3 months ago, you didn't even think you could run more than half an hour. Would you be able to run for a full marathon? In 2 or 3 days, these thoughts start growing and growing and growing and growing. And then, well, in the Peloton app, there's a dedicated program for a full marathon. It's in 3 parts. It's almost 18 weeks long program. So that's how I started with that. Well, let's give it a go and let's challenge myself. So it's been now 4 weeks, a month passed by, and I've been enjoying every single moment of it. First of all, let's start with what is the positive? Well, I really like the structure. I really like that it's not just a run. You have in the training plan, there's running moments, but also strength training. So it's a combination of the two, because you need to build strength as well. I love that it started with low volume. It didn't start with you need to run for 2 hours and a half straight. So that's a gradual increase of workload and volume, which I love it. And the commitment is not that much. As of now, you train 6 days after 7. You alternate. 1 day is run, 1 day strength, run, strength, and then there's a shorter run, and then the long run of the week, and then is a recovery day. And each training is no more than half an hour, except for the long run. So the long run is in mileage. I think the first one was 4, then 8, then 4 again, and then 8, or 4, 8, 10, I don't remember, but it's increasing, and then it decreases on week number 4, because it's the week where you lower the volume to give the chance to your body to recover. So everything was achievable, and I schedule my training and my sessions, so the longer run, it always falls in the weekend, because it's the moment where I have more time to spend. Because during the week, let's be real, sometimes even finding the half an hour to do a short run, it's complicated, because you need to go to work in the morning, or you're coming from work in the evening and you're tired. Life happens. So having to commit to a long run, maybe it's an hour and a half, or 2 hours, I know that is not going to work. So this is the positive things. I also feel my body that is changing. It's a different way of running. It's a different mindset, and helps me to, it's almost like a meditation, I will say, especially in the long run, because you spend a lot of time by yourself. You learn to listen to your body. You need to learn to listen to your body. Otherwise, you may risk injuries. But also, you need to learn and to understand where your body is telling you to stop because you have to stop, or it's telling you to stop just because it's a bit lazy and the changing curve doesn't want to cross that line, and it's normal. So that's very fascinating. And also I like and enjoy it so far that I can see week on week the progress. So that's very motivating. On the other hand, what is challenging? Well, first of all, it's a commitment, because you train 5 days a week. Now, it's nothing new to me, because as I say, I used to do and to try to have every day, even if it's 20 minutes or half an hour, but a sort of exercise. So as a mindset, it wasn't new. But what is new, or at least is a bit more challenging, is that you have a structure. So if you train with no structure, you can decide, depending if you're tired or not, to do maybe a yoga session, or maybe a lighter session, or a more intensive if you have energy. In this program, you need to follow a structure, because there's a reason behind. And yes, you can do everything that you want, but it's not advisable that you do maybe 5 runs straight and then 2 days when you do strength training. It's balanced, so one day you run, the other day you focus on strength. Before the long run, you don't do any strength, so you give your body time to recover. So there's a rationale behind. And that sometimes it's difficult to maintain when you have a life, when you go to work, when you're coming, when it's raining, when it's not everything perfect. So that's a bit of a challenge, but I have also to say that this is where the first few days may be the most difficult, because you need to get into the habit, you need to create the routine, you need to force yourself. But then you start to enjoy more and more, and you appreciate that you actually stick into the plan. The other things that was challenging, as I said, is building the habits, building the routine. So what I did was trying to find a way to make my life and my training easier, or as easy as possible. I'll give you an example. If I plan to go running in the morning, early in the morning, because I know that it's easier for me. I personally enjoy running in the morning rather than in the evening. So if I'm working from home, for example, if I have time to go running at 6 o'clock, what I tend to do is the night before to prepare all my running gear, like my shorts, t-shirt, everything is ready next to the bed. And as soon as I open my eye in the morning, the first thing I do is dressing up to go running. Why? It's very simple. And I did this mistake more than once. Let's say you want to go running, you wake up and then maybe the sky is gray or it's raining or you're still falling asleep, but it's like, yeah, I'm going, let me start and have breakfast or have coffee. And then you get used to sitting in the sofa and time flies and it's too late and you don't go running. If instead you wake up, you open your eyes, you change your clothes, well, even if it's raining outside, or even if there's the voice in your mind that tells you, oh, you should stay at home, because you already dress up, it's more the effort to get change that actually go outside. So eliminate as many barriers as you can to ensure that you don't change your mind. The other thing that is difficult, or at least it's been difficult for me, it's also to understand the different types of running. Because I don't know you, but I always thought that you run as fast as you can, for as long as you want, or for as long as you can. And it's almost like you need to be faster every time and you need to run for a longer distance all the time. Well, actually, here more than ever, I've learned to appreciate the difference between a tempo run or an easy run or a long run, because you need all of those runs. And I'm still learning and I'm still trying to figure it out. But I appreciate and understand that, for example, before a long run, if it says an easy run, it needs to be easy. It needs to be much easier than you think it should be, because otherwise the day after you may not have all the energy that you need. But the idea of having a run wasn't just to put effort on your heart, on your body, but was just to have this mileage while keeping it as easy as possible for the body. So a lot of learning, a lot of tweak. The other things I've learned and I'm learning is food. I'm a person that up to now, I always, when I went running in the morning, went running without having breakfast. Because in my mind, if I have breakfast and then I go running straight away, it's not good for my digestion. I always prefer go running while fasting and then I come back and I have breakfast. And that works if I do a 20 minutes run or, half an hour. But if you do a long run, well, you can't. So you need to have breakfast. You need to have breakfast early enough so you have time to digest. It cannot be a heavy breakfast. What type of breakfast? Because I always thought yes to protein, not to carbs. Carbs are the bad enemies. But actually, this is kind of true for strength training, where you want to prioritize protein. But for run, you need carbs as well, because that will fuels you. So that's what I needed to shift and learn again how to eat properly to fuel my body. Gels are the things that you start to utilize that I never thought I would need it. So it's been a bit of a learning curve. I haven't learned everything yet. And I think this is the most challenging part, but it's also the most interesting because I'm a curious person. I know to find out stuff and more, as many things as possible. So the idea that it's not just, you know, grab a pair of shoes and go running, but there's a world around it actually exciting me. And again, I'm happy if you want to share more about what I've discovered, my learning. This is what I tend to do in my weekly update. But if there's any specific topic that you want to know more about, let me know. Just write a comment and I will share what I've learned, what I discover, what I think works for me, because there's the other element of you need to also listen to your body and to understand what works for you. So this in a nutshell is week 4. Well, the first 4 weeks of the program. Now, starting from next week, so from week number 5 onwards, the volume of the training will start to ramp up again. What I've discovered is that it's almost like a cycle. So every 4 weeks, there's a period of recovery where the training load is lowering. That gives enough time to your body to recover and to be ready to then start the next chapter and increase the volume as well. And I can feel at the beginning of the program, I thought, oh, that's such a waste of time, but actually I can feel that it was needed. Not that I felt necessarily too tired, but when I start to do the recovering week and the volume lowered, in my mind was like, oh yeah, I now see why and I understand and I can feel my body that is actually appreciating this period. So that's pretty much it for now. As I say, this is the beginning of a longer journey. It's a learning curve, but I'm having a good time. There's ups and downs. There are moments when you doubt yourself, moments where you think, what is that I'm doing it? And there will be plenty of them. The why is important because that is what drives you in every moment. That what drives you the morning that you need to leave your house at 5:30 and it's pouring, and just because you have a run plan. Say that, I will catch up with you as usual every week with my weekly update, so stay tuned. And if you haven't watched my video yet, if it's your first time here, feel free to explore my channel and see all the other videos from week number 1 up to now. Also, I will try to give a monthly update as this one. So if you don't want to look at the in-depth weekly videos, you can watch the monthly recap. Thank you again for joining me. Thank you for watching this video. And if you made it so far, click on subscribe. Bye.